Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Comics. I've done videos where I pick the Marvel villains that I think would be the best opponents for DC heroes, if they existed in the DC universe. I've already covered Superman and Batman, and now it's Wonder Woman's turn. The oldest and most recognizable female superhero, Wonder Woman doesn't have as many well-known villains as Batman or Superman, but does have a few people you may have heard of, like the Cheetah or Giganta. Like with my previous videos, I've examined Wonder Woman's rogues gallery and put her villains into various categories. First, mythologic. These are villains with some connection to ancient Greco-Roman myths. This includes Ares, Deimos, Eris, and Medusa. Magically transformed. Villains who have received their powers from some magical source. This includes Cheetah, Aegeus, Genocide, and War Master. Sorcerers. Circe, Hecate, White Magician, and Morgan Le Fay. Freaks of science, villains who receive their powers through some scientific or technological means. This includes Giganta, Silver Swan, Cyborg Girl, and Dr. Cyber. And finally, evil queens. This includes Clea, Saturna, Astarte, and the Queen of Fables. As with my previous videos, I've worked to create a list that covers a variety of the different categories I've mentioned here. Finding Marvel villains for Wonder Woman was a bit tricky, as there aren't that many villains, especially female villains, that are powerful enough to be a threat to her. But after careful consideration, here are my top 5 Marvel villains for Wonder Woman. Number 5. Typhon. In ancient myth, Typhon was a giant who fought the gods and was defeated by Zeus. The Marvel version of Typhon has fought Hercules and the Avengers multiple times over the years. In the DC universe, Typhon would seek to gain revenge on the Olympian gods by destroying Diana. With his sheer might, Typhon would be one of the most dangerous foes Wonder Woman ever faced, and might need the assistance of the gods themselves to defeat him. Number 4. Titania. Mary McFerrin was empowered by Dr. Doom, giving her immense super strength. Over the years, she has repeatedly clashed with the Avengers and She-Hulk. In the DCU, instead of Dr. Doom, Titania would have gained her powers from Circe through a magic spell. With her tremendous strength, she is one of the few female villains that can go toe-to-toe with Wonder Woman and would become a regular sparring partner for her. Number 3. Machismo. Machismo has a complex backstory, so I'm going to give you a simplified version since I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. In the Marvel Universe, there are various potential future timelines, such as the Days of Future Past timeline, or the future where the Hulk becomes the Maestro, or the future of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and several others. In one of those possible futures, the Earth is divided between two warring powers, the nation of Femazonia, a land ruled by women, and Machis, which is ruled by men. Femazonians are similar to Amazons. They're a nation of warrior women who generally despise men and keep them as slaves. Machis is ruled by a race of men who've undergone radiation treatments that give them superhuman strength. They rule Machis with an iron hand and keep their women as slaves. These two superpowers are locked in a war that has been waged for generations. Femazonia is the world where Thundra originates from. When the war began to turn in the favor of Machis, Thundra traveled back in time to change the outcome of the war in the future. She eventually succeeded and returned to her own time. However, when the war began to shift in Femazonia's favor, Machismo, the ruler of Machis, traveled back in time to change historical events so that Machis would be victorious in their war with Femazonia. He fought the Fantastic Four and was defeated and returned to his own time. He would later return to face the FF again and was again defeated, and then would later return a third time to battle She-Hulk. In the DCU, Femazonia and Machis would also exist as a possible future timeline, much like the futures of the Great Disaster or the Futures End timeline. In the wake of a disastrous global war, two powers would emerge. The Amazons would take control of large swaths of the planet, determined to set humanity on a new path away from the destructive past when men controlled civilization. This nation would eventually become Femazonia. Meanwhile, a male-dominated nation, Machis, would also spring up in the aftermath. This nation would be controlled by men who worship Ares. In fact, Ares might be responsible for the war that ruined civilization. When the war turned in favor of these future Amazons, Macchus sent its king, Machismo, back in time, Terminator style, to kill Wonder Woman, since the future Amazons view Diana as their inspiration and spiritual leader. Wonder Woman would defeat Machismo and send him back to his own time period, but he would return again and again, determined to kill Diana once and for all. Number 2. Selene. One of the X-Men's most dangerous villains, Selene is not only a mutant, but also a sorceress and a psychic vampire who is practically immortal. The New Mutants first encountered Selene when they discovered a hidden city of ancient Romans living deep in the Amazon jungle. After encountering the New Mutants and realizing there were more superhumans like her out in the wider world, Selene left the hidden city of Nova Roma and traveled to New York. Shortly after arriving, she joined the Hellfire Club as its new Black Queen, and has become one of the X-Men's most evil and relentless enemies. She makes an ideal villain for Wonder Woman as she has all the features of a Wonder Woman villain. She's female, she's a sorceress, and she takes her name from the Greek goddess of the moon. In the DCU, her origin would be different, with her first encountering the Teen Titans instead of the New Mutants, and then joining the Hellfire Club and facing the Justice League. Later, she would face Wonder Woman individually, becoming obsessed with the idea of draining the life out of Diana once and for all. Her magic powers, which are tremendous, combined with her mutant ability to animate the earth and other objects, as well as her ability to drain the life out of her opponents, makes her so formidable that even Wonder Woman would have a difficult time defeating her. Number 1. Zarda. Marvel has multiple versions of Zarda, also known as Power Princess. In this case, I'm referring to the version of Zarda that was a member of the Squadron Sinister during the Secret Wars event on Battleworld. She later joined a new version of the Squadron Supreme on the main Marvel Earth 616, but she betrayed them and later allied with Mordred the Mystic. They magically enslaved a race of aliens who Zarda planned to use as an army to conquer Earth before the Squadron Supreme stopped her. Zarda comes from Utopia Isle, a hidden island populated by a race of ruthless warrior women. She's the last survivor of her race, and like Wonder Woman, she is a trained warrior with super strength that rivals the Hulk, Thor, and Hyperion. In the DCU, Utopia Isle would be populated by a tribe of Amazons who rejected the message of peace and coexistence that the Amazons preach, instead embracing the philosophy of Ares and hungering for the conquest of man's world. Zarda would be the daughter of a union between Ares and the Queen of Utopia Isle, who was sent to man's world to conquer it and thwart Diana's efforts to spread a message of truth and peace. In many ways an evil reflection of Wonder Woman, Zarda would become one of Diana's most relentless villains, returning to face her time after time, their conflicts often ending unresolved because they're so evenly matched. Let me know what you thought of my list. Would your list be the same? Would you have included different villains? Let me know in the comments, and please like this video and sub to the channel before you leave, and also check out some of my other videos while you're here, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.